first. And then that was fast. We're live on YouTube.
Man,
it's Facebook that takes so long. What's up, y'all? David Fox here, the Black Belt Realtor, with another episode of the Keeping It Real Estate podcast. I got my man Jordan. Jordan, what's up, brother?
Just living the dream.
I want you to, which is
sit up a little bit.
Which is another way of saying dying a slow death. For those who don't know that.
Basically.
Then we have our associate broker Jerry Bob. How we doing, Jerry?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
So what I'm going to do, for those who are aware, I'm going to be looking at my screen, and apparently I made a post on Facebook a long time ago.
And for anybody that knows Dave, that's really, really hard to believe that Dave would ever say anything to anybody or post anything that might be socially offensive.
I think I've toned it down quite a bit.
But
all that to say, hey, there's another Black Belt Realtor YouTube channel. He has 15 subscribers. Who is this guy? The imposter. Holy cow. He's got, he's young. I wonder if he's actually, he looks like a Taekwondo black belt, doesn't he?
PKSA.
Yeah, I don't know if he's
PKSA. He got his black belt at 7.
Yeah, I gotta see. What's his I'm on a complete tangent now. In Georgia. I don't know. He looks more like a black belt here. I digress. Black Belt Realtor. So it's weird that they let us have the same name. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna pull the live over like a good.
How many followers do you have?
I don't on YouTube. 50.
Dude, so you
50 subscribers. 247 videos.
He's at 15.
All right. So I'm gonna copy this and then get us going on Facebook. That way somebody can actually see this someday. All right. But all that to say, what is going on here, guys?
We thought we were going live.
No, we're live. It is live. We're live, just not. There we go. Post that. Yeah, why not?
Maybe.
Okay, there we go. Then we'll see what happens. All right, you guys. So we've got a few things that we're discussing this week. I think we should kick it off with Tales from the Trenches, though. I've got my one from our buddy Al yesterday. Do you guys have any Tales from the Trenches you want to go over? Nothing noteworthy.
I'm thinking.
Jerry, you're borderline retired these days, though. You're kind of.
I mean, FinCEN went into effect. I don't know if you want to call that Tales from the Trenches.
What is it?
That is I want to say Tales from the Trench. That's just a new rule.
What is it?
It's basically a new title rule.
Title rule.
Well, not a new title rule. Title is going to be the one responsible for catching it. Basically,
I'm unfamiliar.
So
because you missed the meeting.
Mr. Meeting.
Could it have been an email?
I sent it out in an email with the slides.
There we go. Okay, all right, cool.
No, essentially what FinCEN is, it's the government auditing a little bit more, trying to catch money launderers. And if you are a cash sale and you're an LLC, well, now they're going to want you to fill out. And the speaker that came in, he's a lawyer for title, so he came in and explained why and what's needed and everything. And he said not only will the buyer have to fill out the form, but the seller will too. So that's one thing for us to know if we get a cash offer, or something like that from or even like a hard money loan. He said land contract, anything that's not regular financing. And it's
for explicitly real estate.
Correct.
Okay.
And that buyer and seller are going to have to fill out this form. And he said that form is at minimum about 100 fields. He goes, so it's not like it's something that you just hand over to your client. They fill out in 5 minutes.
Even with cash buyers, huh?
If it's an LLC or...
If the buyer is going to be an LLC.
Yeah.
Which is pretty common.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not unheard of, right?
So,
especially with our friend Richard Grant Taylor.
That's what I was going to say is this rule just started, and it's going to be interesting with how that works, because they're going to have to fill out these complete forms now and get all this data. And it's honestly, it might throw a huge wrench into his illegal mortgage fraud scheme.
Dude, listen, man, I'm gonna put this on Do Not Disturb. Oh no. This is what happens when it's run off my phone. So we're good. We're back.
Yeah.
So I thought about remixing all of his stuff. Like there is so many, but then I'm like, you know what? All that's gonna do
is gain his traction.
It's just gonna bring more stuff to his thing, right? So it's not going to be.
In bottom line, I mean, what it's doing is it's trying to catch the money laundering.
Yeah.
And the easiest way to do that is to do a paper trail on where's the money coming from and where's the money going. That's really what it's tracking down. And depending upon those answers that you give, they may want more answers. And it's going to close an escrow if you can't supply the correct answers.
I don't even think it'll close an escrow.
Well, I'm just saying.
So what would be an example of a I guess what's an acceptable answer, right? And
acceptable answer.
And I'll give you a very real life example. You know, my father loves precious metals.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like a dragon's lair. Like he just likes gold and silver and
mm-hmm.
things. If you were to sell it to somebody and then he gets paid for it,
mm-hmm.
is that acceptable? Are they going to ask
Is there a paper trail?
Where the gold came from?
Is there a paper trail?
From 20 years ago?
From when he sold it?
Yeah, from when he sold it, yes, not from when he bought it.
Well, no, the paper trail is he sold it, he's got a receipt.
Okay.
Right? And then he's showing them, I sold it to ABC Jeweler, right? Here's my receipt for X amount of dollars. Now, he's covered. Where it's going to get sticky is when a buyer doesn't have the paperwork, or the buyer through LLCs, right, trying to cover up, is on a list. So if that person is on a list,
dude, this could be tricky.
Oh no, it really is. It's a good thing.
Friend,
honestly, I think this is a good thing, because if you do have an individual that is on a list that is, sending money to abroad, it's going to stop it.
Yeah. Abroad, meaning overseas, not
Correct.
Just some chick. Yeah, for sure. So
she might be overseas.
She could be. So what? Okay. How is this? Let's say.
And right now it is only on residential. Just so you know, it is not on commercial yet. If it does well, he said it's probably going to move to commercial.
And if it does well, catching launderers?
Yeah, and let's be clear, that's the only reason they are doing this. They did like a beta test to see how many people are actually doing this on a residential end, and they said anywhere between 7 and 10% of all transactions that include LLCs are doing money laundering in some way. Now, that's a huge number.
That is
if anybody doesn't know,
that's
a huge number.
That is so much higher than I thought. I would thought it would be 1%, 1 to 2 on the high.
Maybe
10%.
They said 7 to 10%
on residential.
Was it 3 units? Is what they're going to?
No, 4.
Is it 4?
It's the same way. It's the same way like FHA does their commercial standards. It's so anything 4 units and under.
Do you know how much money that is? I mean, that is
millions.
That's
hundreds of millions.
Hundreds of millions. Yeah.
I think they were talking about for that one city or state that they did the test. I don't know, because I mean, obviously you're just going off of your one test area because you don't know.
They did one city,
but I can't remember what state or city that they did.
How do you think this will impact the money launderers? Do you think that Do you think it will deter them?
Oh, absolutely. Or they're going to they're going to have to find a loophole. Right now, I think the loophole is moved to not that I'm encouraging, it is going to move to commercial.
So question.
Because right now it doesn't cover commercial.
Yeah, but commercial is, but your cash, so it doesn't really matter. You're not going to have the SBA loans and everything.
So money laundering is obviously from illegal behavior. Could be anywhere from drug dealing to sex trafficking,
human trafficking,
to arms deals, to
stolen items.
That's going to be your big, stolen items. That's going to be your big.
Perfect example is precious metals.
Yeah.
If I steal, I gotta
diamonds. Yeah. If you're, sure. So, do we anticipate this? If 10% of the home sales
LLCs that are buying it with an LLC.
All right. Okay. So that's different. what percentage of home sales are bought in LLCs?
No idea.
Yeah. Probably less than 10% of total. So, okay.
Yeah.
So that is probably 1% of total home sale transactions then.
But still, that's still a
probably
ton.
less.
Yeah.
But even I think it's probably less than, because I mean, we do 200 units a year at our office, a little over, and land contracts might have consisted of 5, maybe.
And
then out of those, how many are going into an LLC?
Well, no, because I'll use Flo's old guy as an example. Flo's had a couple of deals with him.
Yeah,
He was an LLC cash.
Buying LLC?
Well, the ones he was selling, yeah, because they weren't mortgageable.
Yeah. So those are, I mean, so we've got a couple. So you're talking 1%.
I'd say it's more than, if you're talking cash too, because I know there's some. I mean, it also depends on the area you're in, right? I mean, we're a little bit closer to Detroit, so there's a little bit more investor action going up there. You know, if you're out in the middle of, you know, what are Temperance and Dundee or whatever, I don't know how much. I mean, I don't know the area as well. I'm just picking on those two cities. I don't know.
I love it. I know them both very well.
Yeah, I'm just throwing to, you know, middle and, you know, I don't know how much investing is going on out there. It's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, so interesting. So that is okay. That's a big deal. I mean, that's a pretty big noteworthy update.
Yeah, especially for a guy that's halfway retired, right?
Yeah. Okay, all right. Jordan, you have any tales from the trenches?
Not really tales from the trenches. It's just more of a funny story.
What
you know,
you
I
got?
put in an offer. It was a little low, but it was on the market. The house was on the market for 4 months with only a $5,000 price reduction, and it happened a month ago.
Where's it at?
Southgate.
Oh, I was like, are we looking at the same house?
Honestly, it's a really nice.
I think the asking price is relevant because you can't just say a $5,000 price reduction.
It's $185.
So it was $185
Oh yeah, but the one I was looking at, 5,000. They're asking $410. I was like,
with a $5,000 price reduction.
I was like,
That's cute.
cool. You reduced it 1%. Congrats, like,
I've got a funny one for you after that. But no, so I mean, it was an okay price reduction, but I mean, you've still been on the market a month after the price reduction.
180. It's 185.
It was 190, dropped to 185. Nice.
Hasn't sold.
No, and it's
Southgate?
honestly really nice. It's a condo. It's a second floor condo.
I see.
So
That's different. I thought.
yeah, but it's a nice condo, honestly. Like everything's done inside. It's nice. You know, and I told my guy, you know, comp wise, 175, 180. That's realistically where so they're not that far off.
Yeah.
He comes in with like a 165 or a 160 net because he wanted concessions, and I told him, look, it's not going to happen, but he wanted to try there. Told the agent, hey, it's a low offer. I know it's a low offer. He's expecting a counter. I'm expecting a counter. We're all expecting a counter. Just give me a decent counter and let's get this to work. Sounds good, man. I think we'll be able to get this to go. Joe calls him, and he's like, hey, it's a strong buyer. Just give us.
You're representing the buyer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And guy tells Joe, oh, I think we'll be able to get something to work. So Joe, you know, tells us, hey, he seems optimistic. Let's go. He counters back at essentially a full price offer. And I'm just like, am I missing something here? Like,
what were the real numbers? So 185, you offered what?
176%. So yeah, like I said, it was a low offer. I knew it was low.
It was 185. You offered 170
with 6% concession.
With 6% concession.
I knew it was low.
So you essentially insulted the seller, and that's what I told you.
But I expected to meet somewhere in the middle.
6% on
you're talking 10 grand. 160
is 160.
So I expected him to counter back somewhere in the 170 to 175 range.
Yeah,
So
you
meet me in the
can't.
middle.
You can't really.
Oh, I knew it was.
I was talking with our landlord at the gym the other day. We're doing. There's some contesting going on over that space, and
Shocker.
and we are, and so I'm like, dude, he's just not. You know, the other party. I'm like, he's just not being reasonable. He's like, listen, dude, you guys need to just. He's like, you don't need to necessarily get you don't need to get officials and lawyers. Like, you just need deal makers. Like, you get your emotions out of it. You just need deal makers to get.
Well, that's the problem for the other side.
To get the deals done, right? So
because his feelings are hurt.
Yeah, and I would, feelings are hurt. Why, right? Because if the comps are, you could easily say, well, all right, Mr. Seller, I told you they would comp at 175, 180. He came in at a little bit under, and he asked for concessions. Ignore them.
Yeah.
Ignore the concessions. Right.
Take your feelings
get
out
those
of
off the table right away, and then go on to something else. So.
And this is why I honestly, and this is why for sale by owners don't work a lot of times.
Yeah.
Because emotions get involved.
I know what I got.
Yeah.
I'm not paying realtors anything cool. Yeah. You just cut out 90% of the buyer pool, clown.
Yeah, and I mean, and the biggest thing for me, like I said, it wasn't more table trenches, more of a funny story. But I'm like, dude, if I called you and told you, hey, I know my offer's low, give me something, let me get my guy to let's work something out. Then give me a counter. He countered back at literally 195 with the concessions, so it netted his seller the same.
I know the type. Yeah,
and I'm just like, give me something, dude. Like, let's work.
I'm surprised that I'm kind of surprised that the seller wouldn't do the listing agent wouldn't do more mental work with their seller.
And this is where the agent comes in.
I would say, hey, dude, all right, listen, you're the boss. Ultimately, do whatever you want, but understand, boss, that by doing this, you're killing a deal. So, like, if he came to me, he knows it's low. He's expecting a counter. A counter means I came in low, you come in. It doesn't mean come back at full price. What this is doing is giving the buyer a big middle finger of I'm upset with you. And then so now this is a way of insulting each other back and forth. He's expecting a counter. If you just want to feel good about yourself and give him the finger and kill this deal and wait even longer, it's been on the market 4 months. Understand that's what I'll present whatever you want.
That's it.
I'll present whatever you want, but understand that's what you're doing. That's
how explanation.
That's how I would take it, and that's how you should take it. So we do whatever you want. If you want to feel big in this situation, but do you want to feel big, or do you want to sell your house?
Yeah, and that's what I emailed back because he didn't even call me, and that was the other thing that I kind of felt a little.
Yeah, that was kind of.
Oh, I would call. I would call and be like, dude, I'm so sorry about this email you're about to get.
That was the other thing I was kind of salty about. He just sends me an email, and it's just like the counter, and it's like, here you go, let me know what your seller thinks. And I'm like, I responded back right away, like, hey, just want to make sure this is correct. It's essentially a full price offer. You've been on the market for 4 months. Am I missing something here? And he just said, well, let me know what your seller thinks. That's our seller's counter. I said, yeah, that's not gonna work.
I would have called him. I would have called. Hey, agent, what my seller thinks is your guy doesn't want to sell his house. That's what he thinks.
Okay, but I'm going to take the devil's advocate on this.
Sure.
If I'm the listing agent, I would have said, well, wait, you insulted my guy, my guy insulted yours back. Now that we've got the pissing match over, seriously, right? Now that we're done, have your guy write a serious offer, and let me see what I can do. Because my guys, and I'm just going to, I have no clue who the seller is. My guy's an old grumpy man, right?
Sure.
I tried talking to him. You insulted him, which you knew it was going to. I tried talking him off the cliff. Clearly, it wasn't working. Mm-hmm. He wrote the counter back over asking, which is going to net him the same. Write me another offer so I can present it and try to get him to calm down. That's what I would have done.
We're waiting a week and then coming up a little bit.
Yeah. And
that's what I told him because he wanted to come back right away. And I'm like, no, because then we're going to seem desperate. Give it a week or two, then we'll come up a little bit.
So this reminds me of one of my boys. We can't do this because we're not allowed to do this. But
with the initials AT.
They will. So when he's buying things on Marketplace, he has several Facebook accounts.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And he'll lowball it, and then come back with another account.
He'll lowball it, but then from the other accounts, he'll lowball even
more. So he gets what he wants.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
So what he actually does? So what I'm gonna say?
He'll text like Flo in the office. Flo, hey, message this person and offer him like $50. Offer him 75. It's listed for 100.
So I do the same thing.
And they don't want to take it. So just Flo, you message him.
So we can't do that in real estate though. That's what I'm saying.
But I can do it in Marketplace.
You can do it on Marketplace. Yeah, but you can't be like, hey Fox, send this guy, send him 160, send him 125. Like you can't.
It was Corvette parts. I was trying to save a buck, man.
No,
I did.
He tried to have me do it one time, and then he's like, "Nah, they can't. They're just gonna see the last name and notice it's the same."
Bob it. Yeah. You can't do it with the last name, but so he has his own. I mean, you can do it that way.
Funny.
He has his own several Facebook accounts, and
Is it AT?
Who is AT?
Anthony.
Oh no, Terwilliger? No, it's not. It's not. No. It is Anthony though. Anthony Lane. So
That's
it's
funny.
Anthony Lane. He's actually got.
Sorry, Anthony.
He's
Wasn't
got
trying to throw you
he's
out,
got a
man.
house coming up in Dundee. He's been working on it for a year and a half. An old farmhouse. Really, I like. If it was half hour closer, I'd consider buying it. I think I helped him. I helped him come
Half hour
closer.
If it was in Michigan,
Dundee's in Michigan. It's
Toledo's
just
closer.
Far. Yeah, it probably is. Yeah.
time wise.
Yeah. Well, totally different city though. Okay. Well,
Completely different.
Completely different city. Yeah. Tales from the trenches that I've got. Again, it's more of a noteworthy thing. We had you helped me with that listing, the condo listing yesterday. I literally left the office, got a call. I was like, "Hello," and it's, and he's like, "Hey, David." I was like, "What's up?" "Yeah, this is David." And he's like, and he's like, yeah. So I have sold the past 3 units in your place or whatever over in that condo association. I said, "Okay. Cool. Great. Got any questions about it?" He's like, "I see it comes live Friday." I was like, "It does. Yes. Can I get it today?" I was like, "Hang on, start over. What's your name?" And he's like, we'll call him Al. His name's, "Hey, yeah." And I said, "You're an agent?" And he's like, "Yeah." I said, "Well, then, that's illegal. I can't let you in today." He's like, "Yeah." Yeah. I was like, "Yeah." "What do you want from me?" And he's like, same line. "My buyer goes out of town Friday." I was like, "Well, sounds like you're doing a virtual showing then." Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I can do that.
I guess I can. I was like, what con are you playing here?
They get in. That's what they want. They just want to get in before and put the offer in before it goes live.
Well,
that's it.
But I'm not a huge fan. Like, I'm not gonna, if I get let's say I get an offer day one, right? I'm not gonna be in a real hurry to take that offer.
Unless it's a over asking or asking cash.
Unless it's like
a slam
you were
dunk.
on the high end of comps and you got it. Like sometimes, but I'm not going to be in a real hurry to take that. I did see this is interesting, another listing they were, a couple buyers were looking at. In the notes, it was like, seller is not accepting escalation clauses.
Good.
Is that even allowed?
If the
If
seller
the
chooses
seller
it.
says that, you better get it in writing. So our policy would be that somewhere along the lines, that seller better have an email from the seller that states, "I do not want to look at anything with escalation clauses."
Now, I guarantee you, no seller is saying that.
Yeah.
Zero.
without leading.
So I read into that. Like I had a closing in Milan, and same thing. The agent's remarks were no escalation clauses. I was like, that's weird. So I called her up and I was like, "What's the story with the escalation clauses?" She's like, "I just don't like dealing with them." I said, "Okay."
Not your choice.
I said, "Okay, so if I write one with an escalation clause in it, are you going to present it?" She's like, "Absolutely, of course, I'm going to present it." I said, "Okay, okay, all right, well, okay." I don't know.
But what did she have in the comments then?
No escalation clauses.
She had no escalation clauses, but
Yes.
yeah, that's just such a huge risk from a broker standpoint.
It explicitly said, it was one of those like all offers in one document, no escalation clause. I was like, what the hell does that mean? No escalation clauses. Like, and an escalation clause, for those watching, is, I liken an escalation clause to bidding on something on eBay, right? You can come in and try and snipe it and out snipe the bots, I guess, or you can be like, "Hey, starting bid's 50 cents. I'm willing to pay up to $100 for this thing, whatever the thing is, Corvette parts, what have you. And I'm willing to increase my bid by $5, meaning I'll beat any next bid by $5. That's all an escalation clause. Up to $100, right? Up to $100, or in this case. But if the next highest bid is 70, I'll beat it by 5, so 75. I really like escalation clauses, because what it does is it keeps your buyer from from getting caught up in FOMO a little bit. So like, let's say, we got multiple offers coming with your highest and best. We want it. And then, they kind of psych you out. Maybe the next lowest offer is a 150. 250, and then they're realistically,
What you buying for
you're buying a condo in Melvindale. That's what you're buying, right? 155, and and then maybe you went like just rose it by 40 grand just because you wanted to beat it. You spent the money unnecessarily. So I like them, but
I actually had that, like you said, with I had a Cummings to an Allen part, and same thing. Agent called.
Was it Al?
I can't remember. It was a couple
Sam.
years ago. And the agent goes, literally the same thing. Can I get in today? My buyer leaves for out of town on Friday.
Well, sounds like you're doing
And
a
I'm
virtual
like,
showing, dog.
well, it goes live Friday, so can he get in before he leaves? Well, yeah, but he doesn't want to do that. I'm like, it's not my problem.
Sounds like
and
he
they
doesn't
kept
want
on
it.
pushing it, and I'm like, look, and at this time I was the president of the MLS. So I'm like, look, I'm the president of our MLS and vice president of the association. It'd look really bad if I start breaking these, I won't say
Policies.
laws, but policies.
Yeah.
And they really did not care. They kept on pushing and pushing. Even after I was like, well, I'm the president. I can't just not obey what I enforce.
I would have.
I called the broker, and the broker just was like, oh, I'll talk to him. And I'm like, thanks.
Dude, I would have. I don't know.
But you can't report them. They haven't done anything, quote unquote.
Oh, I don't care about reporting them, but I feel like they need to know where I stand on that. Be like, hey, Jordan, all right, follow me through on this, okay?
Let me talk slower.
I believe in doing good business. Do you agree? Do you believe in that?
They don't.
No, but I'm asking, intentionally asking.
Al and Sam don't.
Yeah. So but I'm gonna lead them. I'm gonna lead them through it, right? Like I'm gonna say, I believe in doing good business. Do you? Yes. Okay, cool. If they say no, then I'm like, all right, well then we won't like each other anyway. But if they say yes, like cool. Well, good. If you're from the rip, even before we're under contract, you are acting unethically. Why would I want to deal with you? Well, it's not unethically. Sure, it is. In fact, I can point to you directly how it's unethical, and both of us will be fined. And I can show you
It's
directly.
$1,000 fine, isn't it?
$1,000
Yeah,
For your
so-
first offense.
Yeah,
That's the first.
Right. So I can show you exactly how that looks. Usually doesn't get that far. Al was just, he's like, oh, okay, and then
Let's call him Mike instead.
yeah, Mike. Okay, that works too. Yeah, any of them, right? So okay. Well, I got a couple Reddit rundowns. Let's go with this first one. Should I relocate to Michigan? I'm thinking about pause real quick. So now we have 2 agents out of Synergy that are licensed in Florida.
3.
You? Are you licensed?
No.
You're
Someone you don't know.
Thinking about
Yeah, I don't think
someone
you
I
know
don't
him.
So
Yeah.
we've got Scott, Flo, and someone I
Roy.
don't know. Roy?
Yep.
Well, he's got to be 50, right? I don't know a single.
Yeah.
30,
Well, it's
30,
Roy Hilo.
Roy. Okay. What does that look like? They go down because Flo. Does Flo go?
Flo's
Does
only
he move down there?
No, he wants to. So
Yeah,
Flo
sure.
is licensed, but he hasn't really started down
He's been
there.
licensed for 3 years. He
Yeah,
did
I
3
know.
years worth of dues down there.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything.
Yeah, he's renewed 3 times. He said.
That's like. Is it the
Yeah,
same as
it's-
up here?
I
Like
don't
$2
know.
grand a year?
I think it's more expensive down there.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's a part of the MLS or state. Like he hasn't really. He only is paying the state licensing
I see.
fees, so you're saving a little bit there. But he hasn't fully gone down in committee yet. He wants to. Again,
Transition.
love Flo. Sometimes doesn't make sense. He wants to build up the business here, so he has enough money to go down to Florida and start a new.
He has been licensed in Florida longer than I've been licensed in Michigan.
Yeah.
So,
But
like, Scott
Scott,
goes-
yeah,
Is it?
Scott's
Well, Scott's
different.
a gangster.
Yeah,
Scott's-
Scott goes down multiple times.
Yeah.
But, Scott sold,
That's where you could almost use online marketing. I mean, it's possible to do. You could market yourself.
I have
online.
honestly thought about it. But I don't know, and this is where I've tried to chat GPT at what's required of a Florida broker, not an agent, a broker. Do I have to have a physical location, or can I do something like, we're trying to do here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just rent the office, something small, or on an
Yeah.
as-needed basis. Because if that's all I would need, it's just a physical location, and then charge me, when I do use it by the hour, $50 an hour, whatever.
Yeah. Mailing address,
Yep.
effectively.
I just need to have a mailing address, and it can't be a P.O. box. Like Michigan doesn't allow a broker to have a P.O. box. You have to have a physical address.
Right.
So if that's what's required, then okay, and then what is required from a broker? Do I have to start all over? Do I have to have 2 years experience in Florida, or does my 35 years of experience here and having my broker's license for almost 20 years suffice what Florida needs? I just need to take the state portion of it so I know there's state laws.
I can tell you going the other way. I had a Florida broker in my real estate class.
Yeah.
And
Michigan doesn't share any.
Yeah,
there's no
whatever that word is. I don't really.
There is with
Reciprocity.
firearms.
Yeah.
They'll honor our CPO.
Yeah.
No, but when it comes
that
to
should be
real
federal.
estate, but when it comes
Yeah,
to
I
real
think so.
estate,
I think so.
we're the lowest requirement state. So that's why most states say, "Oh, you're from Michigan? That's cute." Yeah, you don't qualify.
No. She was brokered in Florida.
No, yeah,
right, that's what he's saying.
More stringent.
But I'm saying like it's. I'm surprised actually that happened that way,
Yeah.
but the opposite
The
way
other way,
Michigan
sure.
in
That
it's
makes sense.
it's
What
there's
what other requirements in Florida for licensure?
I don't know.
90 you have to
It's a
take a
90
90-hour class.
Yeah.
90 hours.
Once you
okay.
take your 90 hours class, you have 40 hours of post licensing that you have to do.
Okay. All right.
And then it's pretty much same. You got to go join a
Interesting.
brokerage, whatever. But yeah, so your class, and I think they have a little bit more stricter Con Ed requirements. But on that part, I'm not sure. But it is a 90-hour class and a 40-hour post licensing. Where Michigan is just a 40-hour class. Pass the test and you're good.
I mean, the ticket price is higher down there. That's for sure.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. By double, probably, in most
quadruple.
cases.
But there's almost double the Florida agents that are in Michigan. Because you have to remember, a lot of Florida agents are just like Flo
Double
and Scott.
the
I think
Florida
there's more
agents that are
double.
in Michigan.
Yeah.
You guys, what's your AI you're using now? Are you still using chat?
Yeah, just quick.
Yeah.
That's what I was just.
I've been getting into Claude a little bit.
I heard Claude.
But Claude's got like its actual like I need to download the desktop and get with that. Claude I've heard is doing some things. Okay. Anyway, back to our Reddit rundown. I'm thinking about moving out of Florida, and my options are Central Michigan and Virginia Beach because of family support there. I see. I have 2 kids, ages 2 and 6. Yo, I've never made a major move like this. Well, you must have at some point. Like if their family's not from Florida. So I'm really trying to get all the input I can. Central Michigan, that can vary a lot. The cost of living is going to be a very, very large factor for me, which is why I'm leaning towards Central Michigan. Yep, specifically Mount Pleasant area and the surrounding cities. My other major consideration is that I currently homeschool because Florida's education system is horrible. So I'd like to hear the opinions of Michigan's education system.
You think Florida sucks?
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't know what we were allowed to say. What other economical factors do I need to consider indifferent that are Florida? I mean, so I'm not real familiar with Mount Pleasant.
I'm not either.
Mount Pleasant.
I
I was thinking like mid-Michigan. I was thinking like Midland, middle of Michigan. Mount Pleasant. You said there's a casino.
There's a
in Mount
casino
Pleasant?
there.
Isn't
In
there?
Mount Pleasant.
I thought there was. I don't know.
Yeah, there is.
Comment says born and raised Michigan. Well, here let's start with. I mean, we're from Michigan.
Yeah.
I know,
So
know the area.
What was her first part?
So she wants. How would you advise a Floridian moving to either Michigan or apparently
The negatives, I think
Virginia Beach? Virginia Beach is extremely expensive.
Yeah, so the negatives we
more
have
than
a-
Michigan.
So coming from Florida, I mean, we have a state tax, income tax. Florida doesn't. So there's a
really?
negative there. School system, I would think, and I could be totally wrong. I've never looked at the ranking of Florida compared to Michigan on the school system or what they require from homeschooling. I know Michigan, because we homeschooled, Michigan doesn't really monitor homeschooling. So if you just say
That's
you're in a
still pretty impressive to me.
which from a homeschooling
For
standpoint,
that you guys homeschooled,
Yeah.
that I respect that. Man. I
yeah,
think that's,
I mean, there's pros and cons to it. I mean, I can tell you, if I would have done it when I was in school, it wouldn't have been good, right? Colleges frowned upon it. I mean, it just
I
was
see.
not acceptable.
certainly more mainstream now.
If you look at the
There's a
numbers,
lot
it
more.
has it's like a mountain. I mean, the increase of people homeschooling now compared to even 10
Unfortunately,
years
though,
ago, 20
you've
years
got a
ago.
large portion of that just parents using it not in the right way.
How so?
And they've got, because there's a lot more.
I wouldn't say a large portion.
Or-
You're gonna
I
have
would
a
say
you're gonna have a
decent
small
amount.
portion
Yeah.
of any group that.
But a lot of them now, it's because especially with COVID, they learned that, I can just stay home and do, and it's their publicly funded homeschool curriculums.
Oh, I see.
So it's not like, for example, we used Abeka, right?
Yeah, sure.
They had a full system. They've been doing it for years.
Those are the books we used in private
really,
school.
really, and it comes from a legitimate school, whereas these homeschool, the public funded ones are. They're public funded. I'll just leave it like that.
I see. So
But the problem is with your public ones, they're just going to fail. But they're just going to pass you along because
Public
they don't.
schools.
Yeah, they don't fail anymore without parents' permission. Literally, I've been told that, which is sad. With homeschooling, there is no monitoring of it. But I'll use Abeka, like Jordan was just talking. Once you get into high school, Abeka will keep track of all the classes, your schooling criteria, your grades, and everything. And then when you get to graduation, you have a whole packet that you can give and forward to any colleges that you want to apply to.
That's cool.
Now, they charge a little bit extra for that.
Sure.
But they will do that. So you have all that information. So if a school requests certain information, you have it. I mean, you can keep it all yourself as well, but if you wanted them to do it, they will. If you look at criteria now, if you look it up, colleges would rather take homeschooled kids.
Sure. Yeah.
Because they are more rounded. They can focus better. It's just they test better. They end up doing better all around. Where 20, 30 years ago, colleges really didn't want the homeschool kid. I'll use Jordan as an example. When they were in homeschool, they had already traveled to different countries as part of curriculum. They did mission trips. They got scuba certified at 16 years old.
Wow.
Jordan had already gone down almost to 100 feet in the ocean.
I was trying to get to 100. I was
he was scooping, man.
I was scooping the sand out and trying to dig my hand to get to 100. I couldn't get to it.
But it's things like that where you don't have high school kids in their science class going and getting scuba certified. You just can't. So to me, homeschooling in Michigan is a great way to go if you're a parent that is dedicated and willing to do that.
Well, it's certainly more. It's certainly. It's tough because
So, like your kid's age,
yeah.
it is. I don't want to say easy, but it's not that difficult.
Yeah, sure. I'm just thinking of because our kids have never been in public school. I went to Ida public school. I went to private all the way up through 7th. Then I went to Monroe Middle. Poof,
it's an eye opener.
That is wild. Literally, I went from a class of 7 to my
27.
My portion of my 7th grade was, or 8th grade, 7th grade was 8th grade was 150, and we were split up into A, B, C, D. So there were 600 8th graders, and it's a lot. And one of them was pregnant, and she would leave math class for prenatals every day. Like, it was crazy, and
Dude, that's
it was insane. Like, it was insane. And but Ida High was obviously a farming town. They did pretty well as far as like tests, whatever test scores looked like. So when it got to, I remember even freshman year of high school from private school, like, they were doing stuff that I did in 6th grade, and I see going to get licensed as a real estate agent. These
he was licensed before he got out of high school.
These adults did not. Is there an age requirement?
18.
18. Okay. So these adults couldn't do percentages with a calculator.
Mm-hmm.
With a calculator.
He was doing percentages.
5th grade.
Fifth, dude. No, he was like 6 years old, and I'm not joking.
6.
We would go to Pizza Hut And I'll use that as an example.
Yeah.
Get him a personal pan pizza and cut it into quarters.
Okay.
Take one piece out. How much do you have?
Well, now we're talking
Quarters.
Three-fourths.
Those are fractions.
Right. And then we would say, if you were playing baseball, what would your baseball average be? And so then we were getting into that.
Oh, I see.
And then he started playing poker. And so then he started learning how to, I don't want to say count cards, but he would start learning how to play poker and just probabilities and stuff. And homeschooling, you can do a lot more. Because one thing you have to remember,
I'm not sure how I'd feel if they started bringing poker. I probably wouldn't care. I mean, obviously.
And that's the thing.
If they brought poker in the 4th grade.
Listen, he was 12 years old, and for his 12th birthday party, that's what he wanted. I want to have a poker party. I'm like, we got to talk to parents on that.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how but we did do it, and we ended up just playing like with candy and stuff. But
even to this day, I'll go to the casino. I mean, I don't even like going to the casino. I just like going and playing blackjack. I go in with my set amount of money.
I hate losing money. I don't care if it's $15.
Well, it's not losing money.
It's losing. It's losing money. I don't care. And I've heard the argument of you're there for 2 hours, $15. I get it. I don't like it.
So are you losing money when you go to the movies then?
no, I got enjoyment out of it.
I got enjoyment out of my black. I'm sitting there playing.
Listen, I'm not. I'm just telling you. Well, and here's what I think, because obviously we've played poker together, right?
Yeah.
And it's a one buy-in,
$20.
$10, $20.
Yeah,
whatever the amount is, I would give any one of you. Like I'm cool with it, right? So if I lost, right, and there's usually like food, so
And there's food.
so which is buzz. I don't like. I don't like, especially on something like blackjack where you can lose it all. Like
Quick.
on a $20 buy-in, it's a $20 buy, whatever it is.
Oh, I see that, and that's the difference. I go to the lowest table I can find.
What's the lowest though? Like
Depends on the day.
Yeah, depending on the day.
Oh, I see.
Because like on the weekends,
Yeah,
you're
you're
not
going-
finding a
yeah.
$5 table.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's
No,
what.
but
That's what.
it's $10. And when I used to go, I'd go to Canada, and it was Canadian 10, so it was really like $7.50 or $7.
Okay.
So I would go up there, and I'd only bring $100, and sometimes I was there for 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
There was one time though.
This one, go ahead.
I go to I did this one. I didn't go to
Detroit.
Canada. I was at Detroit for this one.
Sherry and I were going out to eat. We went to Big Bear, which is 10 minutes away from the house.
Okay.
Go.
I beat him
Oh
back.
yeah, I know. Big.
I
Ben.
beat him back.
Yeah.
No. So we're
Oh.
we're eating. Now, Big Bear's literally 10 minutes. He left and we left at the same time. We're at Big Bear, have our dinner, getting dessert. I said, I'm going to call and see how Jordan's doing. So I call him like, hey, how are you doing? He's like, I'm home. I'm like, you're home? But what are you doing home? I thought you went to the casino. He goes, yeah, I lost it all within 10 minutes. I'm already back home.
Oh, dang.
I only did like $50 that day, and I just lost it. And I'm just like, nope, I'm done. I'm going home.
That would. I don't like that at all.
Well, that one, there was multiple reasons. I had my 100 with, because that's what I always do, is I bring
I
$100.
see. Sure.
Once the 100's gone,
Smart.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
That day, it was $50 because I lost it quick, and I had the other half with me, but I had two, because in Detroit, you can smoke. I had two smokers, and there was no table around without a smoker. And I was
I
like,
see.
I'm not sitting
Yeah.
next to that. So I left.
Yeah, I'm not a casino player.
But I was like blackjack.
A friend of mine actually paid me one time to go to Vegas. I gave him excuse after excuse after excuse, and I love Rich, friend of mine from college. And I just kept giving excuses. We just got back from a vacation, or we're going on a vacation. I don't have time. I don't have the money. Whatever. And he finally just said, "Dude, look in your mailbox." So I looked at my mailbox, and it was a ticket.
Oh my god.
I'm like, dude. He's like, I got you the ticket. I'm gonna have a limo pick you up. I got a suite at the Mirage. It's all, dude. I'm gonna give you money to come. How can I say no now?
Yeah.
How can I say no? I'm like, crap. And it's not that I don't have the money. I just didn't want to go.
I don't. Yeah.
I don't like. I'm with you. I don't like losing my money. I like my money. So I get there, have a limo pick me up. No joke. Takes me to the Mirage. He's got like a 2-bedroom, beautiful, 1,500 square foot or more suite.
Oh wow.
I'm like, dude. He's like, it's all comp, Jerry. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, nothing's comp, dude. You may pay for it. You just didn't pay for the room.
Sure.
So he gives me like $200. He's like, let's just go downstairs. Dude, I brought $200 for the whole weekend. That's all I'm spending, or wasting, if you want to call it that.
Sure.
So we go down that evening. He's at the blackjack table. He's at the $100
Buy-in? Oh, no.
Blackjack.
It's a hand. Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
No.
So,
No way.
I'm
No
watching.
way.
I'm watching, and I'm like, I got to save my $200 because it's only two hands, right?
all
I'm
right.
I'm not playing right now. So he's like, come play. I'm like, dude, no. He's like, man, here. So he gives me another $200. I'm like, dude, whatever. So I sit next to him. We're playing. I'm like $3,000 up.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, I should quit. He's like, no, now you're playing on house money, man. Now you got to play more.
Oh, you're out of your mind.
Yeah,
No.
That is a gambler mentality.
If I turn
right
200 into 3,000, I'm walking. If I turn 200 into 1,000, I'm probably walking away.
So I'm like, okay, it's his money. Why can't I shouldn't, and I'm literally thinking, you know what? He paid me the money. It's not even my money. He wants me to spend time with him. I mean, that's why we're here. I'm like, whatever.
Sure.
So now I'm down putting $500 on a hand. And I'm like, oh my word, what am I doing? Before you know it, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I'm going upstairs. He's up like $5,000.
Wow.
I'm like, cool, have fun. I'm going upstairs to the room. Went upstairs to the room. I didn't even get ready for bed yet, and here comes Rich.
Oh no.
I'm like, dude, I thought you're staying downstairs. He's like, yeah. I said, how much you down? I'm down 3,000.
How do you?
He was within a half hour.
How do you
within a half hour.
$8,000? Wow.
Easy.
He was down. So he lost $8,000 in a half hour.
Well, or $3,000. Well, he lost.
No, he's down.
He was up 5. Yeah,
he was up 5.
Yeah, so he lost. That's why I don't gamble, man. I do have a few stats on homeschoolers though. For
Back to homeschooling.
Homeschool students typically score. So right now, 5 to 6% of Michiganders are homeschooled, which is
Decent
substantial.
total numbers. That's a big number. 15 homeschoolers score 15 to 25 percentile points higher on standardized tests in public schools, and many homeschoolers score in the 65th to 80th percentile range versus the 50th percentile average for public school. Some studies show homeschoolers performing about one grade level ahead in early grades. And so I will say a concern, and I think it goes back to the tools that are available now versus then. We had homeschool, so I was a private school for most elementary, middle, but we would do there was these homeschoolers that would occasionally somehow they would be joined with things that we did.
You can.
Yeah.
So in Michigan,
co-ops.
you can.
They did co-ops. They were...
Well, no, you can actually go to the school. So you can actually...
They weren't in our classes. They would do event, like basketball or something.
I was going to say, they can legally... Like if Jordan wanted to play football at the high school level, he could play for the high school.
Yeah.
Most schools didn't permit it. But if you challenged it, they would have. And the legality is I get the mentality behind it. I really do.
Yeah.
And that's why I never pushed it and pursued it.
Sure.
The mentality behind we don't like doing it is if we've got a athletic student, but he's dumb as a box of rocks, he can't play if he's got bad grades, according to the rules.
Yeah.
So let's just make him a homeschooler.
Oh, I see.
And then he can come play because now homeschool grades are not recorded anywhere.
I see.
Mom and dad can say he's doing great. Life's good.
Yeah.
Now he qualifies to play. And so I get the mentality behind it, so I never challenged it.
Sure.
And you know me. If it makes sense, okay, I'm not going to do it, right? Or I will do it. If it doesn't make sense, I'm gonna fight you on it. And so I told Jordan, listen, I get their reasoning, so I'm not going to challenge it. So there were other options for him.
Sure.
There were city leagues, and then there was a private Christian league as well.
Well, and that was us in Christian league, but these kids were weird. To say weird is an understatement. But I'm not going.
Yeah,
they were
class.
Mennonite or something. So
Yeah.
were they weird because of homeschooling, or were they weird because they were just socially removed from society? As they're not.
Yeah.
And I don't even know. I don't even know what Mennonites fully believe. I just know the guys.
They're what do you call it?
Amish.
They're Amish.
They're
but not
Amish,
Amish
but
looking.
they're
They allow
Amish, but they allow electronics.
Yeah, so it was. Dude, they were.
Mindy's sister.
Weird. They were weird. What?
Gina.
She's
Gina.
there's
What's his name?
no-
Steve.
there's
Steve.
no
Steve was
way.
Mennonite.
Was?
Yeah. Yep. He grew up Mennonite.
Well,
Okay.
you're talking about.
Yeah, because they're relatively normal.
Oh, Steve and Gina,
from
they
from
are.
what I've seen.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. No,
she
they're
doesn't.
good.
She doesn't do the.
Oh, no.
yeah,
They're not Mennonite. But Steve was when he was growing up.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, anyway, but that was so when I think of homeschoolers, I think of, and that's
That.
when I met your sons. I think your sons were like some of the first adult homeschoolers I've seen. I was like,
You're somewhat.
I mean, but everyone,
kinda normal.
everybody's a little weird. Like everyone's can be weird.
Kind of to go.
Well, how many
back-
homeschoolers you know that cage fight? Come on.
Yeah, right. None.
Yeah, that was
Two?
my
Two? Or
that was
one,
my
actually.
gym class.
This one.
That was my gym class. Get in the cage. Going back to the Florida versus Michigan license because you said it was double and I laughed. Just realtors. There's 35,000 in Michigan. Guess how many in Florida?
123.
100.
Yeah, 240.
There you go.
They have 315,000 approximately agents because again, realtors and agents are different. Where Michigan's around the 40 to 50 range, so they're close to 10x agents. If you go off just of their population, they have roughly one agent per every 75 people.
What's Michigan's per capita?
I'd say between one for every 300 would be my guess. 400. Let's see.
Oh, that's way.
I have to ask because it didn't
It's a
give me
way
that one.
larger number than I would have thought.
Oh no, that's why I said when he said, "Oh, it's double."
I'm
what
saying in Michigan, like 1 to 300, but that is that's a lot, dude.
I'm checking for Michigan, but
So one every 75 people. People
Florida.
sell every
One
7
every-
years. That gets you 10 deals.
one every per
Not
for
anymore.
Michigan 290. So it's 3 on a per capita basis.
Now,
3x difference.
you know what you just said about people moving, because that's statistically always been it, right? It's about every 7 years.
7 years.
That number is up to 12 now.
12 years.
Yep.
It's
Since
it's
COVID.
higher. They've jumped.
People are staying in their homes now 12 years on average. Well, think about it. Interest rates, pricing of homes, new construction. They're staying longer.
Funny enough, the national average of agents per adult is 7.6 and Michigan's 3.4. So we're actually half, which means we're a pretty competitive state.
Yeah.
But Florida is even worse.
Horrible.
Yeah, but you're doing like, where are you going to get $190,000 listings? Anywhere else
But
nationwide.
with Florida, you have to remember, our office is a perfect example. We've got 3 Florida agents.
Yeah.
None of them live in Florida.
Imagine large
Nationwide,
brokerages
yeah.
and nationwide.
Interesting.
So how many of those agents are actually living in Florida? And
That's
then
crazy.
how many of those agents are already in
Yeah.
nursing homes? They still have their license. They're just not practicing.
That's kind of a unique niche though, like especially what Scott's got going on, because like I can't imagine, we imported out of
Yeah.
Miami. I cannot imagine being a real estate agent in Miami.
No.
Like there's no way. Like
You don't even.
I can't imagine living in Miami, number one.
You don't want to know the competitiveness that they have down there. It's because when I went to like my YPN conference in Chicago,
Yeah.
we'd get YPN. So our YPN group is like 15, 20. Miami's YPN group is 10,000.
Wow. Holy cow.
And that's because they get a lot of other people from different associations too. But that's just their YPN group.
That's incredible.
Just their YPN group.
But so I don't want to move to Florida.
Yeah.
But if, like if you can get into the market of snowbirds in Michigan, which is they're around, right? And Scott obviously has he's we need to have him on, dude.
It's early morning. That's the problem.
Yeah. What midday? Does he need middle of the day? He needs
Yeah.
2
Oh yeah,
Scott
he shows up.
p.m.
He
Scott comes
literally
in at
shows
2 p.m.
2 p.m. Yeah.
1:32. He's there till
It's
solid
1
4.
If it's 1:30, then it's a little early.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We joke because he comes in at 2 to 2:30 on the dot every time.
Sure.
Well, not on the dot, but yeah, whatever.
All right. So we got one more. Actually, a couple more Reddit rundowns. Is buying a home still worth it in 2026? I've been following the market. Okay.
Sounds
And
like the
pri-
guy
and
who's
price-
been following national data.
Anyone who says he's been following the market, I'm like,
If he's following the market, why are you asking?
yeah, right. And prices seem crazy high in most areas. Rent keeps going up too. No shit, Sherlock. Like what? That's the alternative, right? Is you like anyone who's like they're. Here's what I will say: if you're looking at home ownership as an investment, I mean,
I'm not complaining.
Are there better investments though, right? The difference is where can you it's the leverage, right? Because now you can we'll use an example. You buy a $500,000 house. What is your total cost into that house? As low as what?
0 if I go VA.
As low as 0 could be, on average maybe
3.5%, 5%,
3.5% plus closing 6%. So your all-in cost to play with a $500,000 investment is $30,000.
And that's what people don't get.
That's the leverage that I would argue with.
Right.
I would contest with. You can't. So you can say, oh well, the S&P does better. Yeah, the S&P needs $500,000, homie.
Well, let's take it another step. I'm not paying taxes on my $500,000 house that just went up 10%. So theoretically, my house goes up, or a house goes up from $500,000 to $550,000. You're not paying taxes on that $50,000 you just made.
Correct.
It's capped.
The first,
right?
First, it's $500 now, right?
Well, per
for
person,
married couple, right? So is it $500 per person?
500. No, 500. It's 500 married couple.
Yeah, I apologize.
Yeah, so
but you have to remember, my investment was $5,000. So even if I sell it for $1 million,
tax free.
It's tax free.
Yeah, that's dramatic.
Tax free.
That's dramatic.
Tax free.
Rents keep going up, so I'm stuck wondering is if now buying now actually makes sense, or if it's smarter to wait. You just defeated your own argument, in my opinion. Right?
So wait another 10 years and then ask us that question, buddy. That's what I'm going to tell
I know there are no guarantees. I'm curious how others are. Let me ask this: is there a time where we have seen rents decrease?
Yeah, when the market crashed.
Yeah, I suppose. Okay. All right.
Yeah, rents decrease when the housing prices decrease, but that's also because nobody has money to buy anything.
Yeah. I mean, if you enter a true
but again, it's all
recession,
short term, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what people have to understand. If you've got the money, and you got to have the money to outlast the downturn, you're good. But
these guys got a gambler's mentality a little bit. It says, honestly, it's such horror teacher 1106 says, honestly, it's such a tough call right now. I'm in the same boat and keep flip-flopping between just bite the bullet and waiting it out another year or two.
What are they expecting in a year?
What are they?
I guess that would my question would be.
Did you see that video I sent you of Epstein? He was on like 60 Seconds or something.
No, because I don't have an Instagram account. So when sometimes when you send them,
he
it'll
was making
allow me
way too much sense. Like he was legit, and hearing him, obviously he's a terrible, despicable human being, right? Who might still be alive. They
may or may not still be alive.
May or may not be back on his island. But he was like, he said, so who do you think is to blame for the housing crisis? He's like, I think
which one?
A single individual, the Epstein, the 2008. And he's like, I think it was, and he was talking very cool. I think Clinton. You could single-handedly point to Bill Clinton.
It was Clinton.
Yeah,
I said that.
And then
I said that for years.
He's like, well, and what would you say to that? He said, well, I would point you back to our last conversation. You asked me if every American citizen should own a home, and I said, no way, it's too risky.
Yeah.
And like he's talking like this, and he's like, what do you mean? And he went through the whole bit, right? I sent it to you, and I almost said, man, you're sounding a little bit like Epstein, like because you should borrow someone's Instagram.
Here's the funny part: during that whole time, you could Google it, and everything would point to Bill Clinton, Bill Clinton, Bill Clinton, Bill Clinton, and deregulating the banks. That's what caused it, right? And that's in theory. That's whether you like me or not, I don't care. Whether you like Bill or not, I don't care.
I mean, point to it though, right?
That's what it was.
He made a great point because he was saying up until that, he's like, think about whatever happened, if I'm a bank and I'm lending money and I need to protect my investors' money, and you give me a bad creditor, I'm going to say no. You're too risky, mister. Maybe if you work real hard and get your credit up, maybe we can get you a loan in the future. But Bill Clinton, his whole campaign was run on, we're going to get everyone's,
more affordable housing.
Now,
deregulate.
Now, Mr. Banker, if you deny them, I will have the SEC on you for discriminatory lending practices. He's like, but they're not bankable. He's like, no, don't worry about that. We're gonna guarantee it.
That was it.
He's like, who's gonna turn? He's like, now it went from I'm gonna take as many of these as I can get because Big Brother's paying the bill.
That's
it. And I was like, that dude.
And I sold a guy a house with a 480 credit score who had a bankruptcy and what do you call it? foreclosures.
Did you have any ethical or moral conundrums with that?
I did, and I did exactly what. Well, this is sad. What Epstein said.
Yeah.
If I don't, somebody else will.
Somebody else will. Yeah.
Not my money.
Yeah.
Whatever. If you're stupid enough to give them the loan, I'll sell it.
We can see the writing on the wall here. But he went on to. He just made way too much sense.
Well, and because it's the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
You deregulate, and then if you're deregulating me, like you said, the bank, and now I'm holding this hot potato, and I know it's going to foreclose.
Yeah.
They've already proven themselves as unworthy, right? I'm going to sell it to another bank as quickly as possible. And then they want to cry that banks were knowingly selling bad notes.
Yeah.
Well, you forced me to take the bad notes.
I think the key, which I didn't realize, was the threat of the SEC coming down on the consequences if they don't lend it. Right? Because, you
would get cut off from federal funds.
Right. So, no FHA,
as a bank,
right?
Yeah.
Right. So, and then there was that, what is it, Fannie Mae?
For loaning.
Freddie Mac or whatever.
Because, banks take money from the feds at a low interest rate to turn around and they were going to get, like you said, they were threatened.
Sure.
You're not going to qualify.
So, the question of wait another couple of years, what's going to happen in a couple of years? We see people get turned down. I see people get turned down monthly. Every month they're getting turned down. They're like, you can't afford a loan. All right, like you can't afford a mortgage. You can't afford your bills right now. You definitely can't afford a mortgage, right? And so
people can afford a lot more if they did a budget. If they, I think so many people waste their money.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to pick on younger generation, but the younger generation wants all the luxuries of life and a house when they don't realize what their parents scrimped and saved for, to get what they have.
But see, at the same time, what you're saying is you're expecting everybody to struggle like you did just to have what you did.
No, I'm not expecting it. If they're expecting to have what I have at my age, then common sense says then you need to struggle like I did.
But
and if they're not willing
would be
to,
the goal to have the younger generation not struggle like you did.
Well, is that my goal? No, that's not. Honestly, that's not my goal. My goal, if they could, that's awesome. I'm not going to.
No,
fault,
I
wouldn't fault them for it. I think that's a great thing. I'll use myself. I'm doing better than the generation before me, right? Mm-hmm. And so I would hope your generation does better than what I did. But on the same token, I don't think that the younger generation has a right to cry, "Oh, woe is me," because I don't have the $500,000 house and I'm already 25 or 30.
I don't think I don't. Well, and I think that's the difference. I don't see anyone complaining that I don't have a $500,000 house. It's I don't have a house. Period.
But why don't they? And then that's what it comes down to, right? When I look,
now you're gonna have to take a very person by person basis, and that's gonna be the hard part.
Right, and I understand that. But when you look at even the macroeconomics of it, an average house in southeastern Michigan, where we're all at, you can buy a decent house, again, a nice starter house for $250,000. Now that might sound like a lot of money, but when I take the math and I say, okay, a married couple making $20 an hour, which is pretty low, or on the low end of average, right?
Sure.
You can afford
for one individual.
You can afford a $250,000 house in a nice neighborhood. Now, where is that wrong?
Well, I think
it's
at a practical level.
Home.
Well, again, and I think if you really did the math in a budget,
are you saying they both make $20 an hour?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like,
that's $40.
I was thinking,
but
I was like single income. I was like,
you're taking 40 hours and not factoring in their taxes.
Well, no, I'm not.
80
that's 80 grand a year.
And they keep 60. They keep 60 divided by 12 is $5,000 a month. That they take home. A $250,000 house is going to be $2,200
about
ish.
Yeah, and that's with no money down.
They barely qualify, and that's having no other debt.
Right. So you're going to struggle to keep that. Now, and let me finish. So you're right. They're struggling to live in that $250,000 house, right? And in 10 years, now what's that $250,000 house worth? $350 ish. So now they've built up $100,000 plus what they've paid in their mortgage. So now let's just call it a $50,000. So now they got $200,000 to buy a $500,000 house with. And hopefully in 20 or 10 years, they're making more money than they are now. And that's where, I mean, you have to remember, my house, I've 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my 5th house.
Yeah,
and
that's important. I think that's important.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Building it up,
and I know, but you're talking. You talked about 2 different scenarios because you said one, you've got a married couple, both making this that can afford this house, and then eventually get to the 5. No one was, and then your original example was, you've got these younger guys complaining that they can't afford a $500,000 house. Well, yeah, but you just started with half of what your evaluation was at $250,000, and that's with a married couple.
Right.
What about the single people?
Well, I think single people are going to struggle more than a married couple because you've taken maybe, depending on the individual, half the income. So you're going to struggle more than if you were with another individual.
Ultimately, I think I like the people on this podcast because you get
2 different.
You have 2 different generations in the room. 3, I guess.
3.
When were you born, Jordan?
98. I'm on the cusp.
Are you as?
Are we
still in the?
They consider
I feel like
me,
Gen Z is not going to watch you.
They consider. I'm literally like a redheaded stepdaughter. I can't.
I feel like you're not. Yeah. You're not angry.
98 to 0, like the.
If he was a typical Gen Zer, at least from what I've seen in the comment section, that would have been an outraged response, right? As opposed to a level-headed response. So you're technically Gen Z, maybe on the cusp of millennial.
Honestly, it's like depending on what thing you
survey you look at.
Yeah, okay. I'm. Some call me a millennial, some call me a Gen Z, some call me a.
What's funny is
nobody wants you.
Some of them call me a baby boomer. I'm like, I was born in '70.
Yeah,
I'm a Gen X.
You do sound like a boomer sometimes.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm Gen X. That was a solid Gen X generation, right?
That's true. I guess it was. Yeah. So here is. I think it's while you guys are talking. Would you like to guess at how many Americans have a written budget? What percentage?
5, 10%. 10%. Yeah, I'll say 10%.
This is according to a Gallup poll. So
3.
They call you up. Wow, you guys are pessimistic. 30% apparently. A third has a written budget.
I call BS.
Now, meaning keep a detailed written or computerized budget.
There's no way.
So.
30%.
That's like saying 75% of Americans call themselves Christian.
I guess. I guess
because you go to church on Sunday.
Okay. So here is what I will. Here, and then it says, 42 says they have some kind. 53 to 74 says they quote have a budget loosely. To me, it's like. I guess it was what did you define as a budget? A budget is every dollar gets accounted for, right?
That's a budget.
Accounted for. You have, and Amanda, and we still use, we use some of the new apps, but literally we've got a spreadsheet because it just works that we made 10, 15 years ago at this point. And you have, we have assigned your budget target amount. And then since then we started budgeting for inevitable things that will come up, right? Within closely. There are some things that we set the budget intentionally low so that when I break it, I don't feel bad. Because it's one of those things. If I set the barrier, if I set it low, if I raise it, I'm like, oh well, then we can go over a little bit. So meals and entertainment, $300 a month, right? $300 a month, right? We routinely usually hit $425. I'm not gonna, but I know, I can tell you, hey, how much did we go over budget this month? $126, right?
It's funny because we have no budget, but Sherry will say, how much is this? How much did we spend last year in this? And in my head, I'll calculate it and I'll say, probably around $12,000. And I'm always she's like, how do you just know? I'm like, I know where my money goes. I might not have it written down, like. Our meals and entertainment, it's $1,000.
Well, you're childless though.
Yeah, it's $1,000.
Effectively, right? Yeah, meaning you're not,
Yeah, we go out way too much.
Yeah. Well,
My budget.
I spend more on private school than you do on meals and entertainment. So
That's right.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
what's
that's
funny, and it's funny because you
why
said
you got-
that, and I'm thinking, man, he's using a Becca, but he's still spending X on his kids to go when he could just homeschool and save that money, or hire a private tutor just to come to the house and do it
I'm
for
a fan.
2 hours a day.
I like interstate. Well, and what would that 2 hours a day? Okay, take case in point. What would that? What to me, it's the opposite. Amanda could do it. She really doesn't want.
I'm
to.
guessing she's going to say a hard no.
Yeah, she really doesn't. So then,
If she's watching right now, my phone's
what
gonna
is
start
my
buzzing.
time? What is 40 hours a month worth to me?
Yeah.
Less than private school is. I think I
Mm-hmm.
exaggerated. It's I think it's 900 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wait till you have
for
3.
2 kids. Yeah, 3 is I think you get a second.
You get a
kid,
discount.
Fourth kid's free.
Group discount.
Fourth kid's free. They're like we
feel bad for you.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But to the point, I see this argument a lot of I don't know, man. I've got mixed feelings about it.
Because to me, when we did it,
I
our
have
biggest
mixed
thing was the
feelings.
social part of it.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was our biggest thing. We wanted to make sure that they were they were not socially constipated, as I call it.
That's a phrase. Yeah.
Because a lot of homeschool kids, historically, not
Yeah.
so much anymore, because I think there's so many of them and there's
Sure.
options,
Yeah.
were socially constipated. They didn't know what to do in group settings because they'd never had those before.
Yeah.
They didn't know how to interact with problems when problems arose.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, they played football, they played baseball, they played basketball, they got into jiu-jitsu. They were into group activities. Plus,
Yeah.
our youth group at our church, they always came with us, so they were interacting with older kids. In our youth group, we had almost 100 kids in our youth group, so they were always around people.
That is
Evangel was-
that is the largest youth group I've ever heard of. What was the age group?
High school,
That's the largest youth group.
Yeah,
I've
but
ever
we-
Evangel was
Holy
huge
cow.
back
but
when I
we
was
Holy cow.
that age.
we dumped time into those kids.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a position to, we were youth leaders. We were not the pastor. We had a full-time youth pastor, but at that time, to even be a youth leader, it was like a waiting list. You had to prove yourself that you were, I don't want to say worthy,
Yeah.
but you were capable of it
Yeah,
on a
sure.
religious level and knowledge.
Yeah, maturity level.
But
sure.
you also had to have, you couldn't be young, couldn't be single.
Yeah.
And I think that was very wise.
Interesting.
And then you had to be able to.
They probably avoided
Don't-
a lot. They probably avoided a lot of problems that way.
Well,
Dude,
yeah.
I know
To me,
firsthand.
common sense.
I
I mean-
know firsthand that in the youth group I was in, like it was so many 19-year-old single dudes were like, I'm like, yeah, okay, like I see where this is going,
Yeah.
and it did, yeah, inevitably, right?
So I mean, it was really a privilege to work in the youth there,
Yeah.
and we were there. And Jordan can tell you probably way too much. At least at a minimum, once a week, doing something
if you're
with just the youth.
if you're okay with it, though, I was trying to turn the
go ahead.
conversation back to
Go ahead.
the generational, the generational, we'll call it gap between home buying. I was thinking about this. We were on the, Amanda and I went on a cruise, and you know how I said the economics don't work if you don't have effectively cheap foreign labor, right?
Oh yeah,
However,
he's talking about the workers.
yeah, the workers, they're.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw
Slave labor.
I don't think I saw an American.
You don't?
like legitimately.
No, you don't.
But then I also got to thinking, I was like, then you get off at these ports and you see how other people are living, right? You get off at, and not to say like that's the standard we should adopt, but like I think about, if I say, hey, Jordan, would you like to go work on a cruise ship? The shifts are 16 hours. You live there, and you will be on board for 6 months. What is an acceptable starting wage for that position? I don't need it's not a real offer,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah,
because
no,
they
I'm
make
not
about
working.
$900 a month, right? But so there's not even a price you would accept. There's got to be a price. I mean,
Sure.
What
But
what is it?
I don't even.
He's been on
humor me.
he's been on cruises and he knows how hard these people work.
Sure,
So
humor me.
think really hard.
That's what I'm
from
saying.
8 a.m. to 9
here's
p.m.
here's the other thing. One, I don't sleep that well on cruises to begin with. So
This is a hypothetical.
I know, right?
I don't think Jerry. What 20-year-old you? What's the price?
In today's market, honestly, if you're wanting me to work that hard,
First of all, there's overtime.
there is no overtime.
Mandatory. Well,
no. What I'm saying is you're not getting paid overtime.
Well,
you're just working
in America. So in America, that you are.
Yeah, but those are all international.
Okay,
cruises.
what's the starting rate for you to make it? It'd be worth the cost of the work-life balance.
Yeah, exactly. I don't.
You're paying me, and I'm not trying to be funny. You're paying me $2,000 a week.
Yeah. No. I think that's honestly. I think that's a little conservative. Because what's that math work out to? Can you do some math for me?
2,000 a week.
About 100,000 a year.
That's cheap for
but
16-hour days.
But you have to
You're
remember,
double shift, so it's $50,000. It's $50,000.
I'm looking at a young Jerry, no education, right out of high school.
Yeah. And that is.
I'm.
So they make $1,500 a month.
Plus tips. Sure. Yeah.
Right. So now you have these individuals. Now, granted, all of their effectively I assume meals are included. I would assume. I don't know. Room and board is for sure. Obviously, they're not going to charge you for a room on the ship, I don't think. And but they send that money back. So they're right away.
They do have to pay for internet.
Do they? Okay.
And phones.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So they right away the cost has gone up. But what are some things that, if you say that, well, look at even what I'll call understandable costs of living in America. Like, I'll take internet. Internet's, I don't know what you pay. I think we pay $80 a month for our internet. Okay, so that's $1,200 a year, right? What's another understandable, like when you start breaking down the cost of how you bid jobs or as a contractor, agent, or whatever, well, then, I have my car payment. I don't have a car payment, but most of them, 90%, I don't have really an impressive car. I
don't know. It's impressive, all right.
Not in the way
like, dog, leave me alone. It's getting me. It's running.
It's impressive that it runs.
It's running. Hey, man, to me, that's one of those things. I don't have a car payment, but the average car payment is what, $600-700 now?
It's crazy.
It's almost my house payment.
Yeah, that's no way. What's your house payment?
$1,100.
That's. If you guys saw his house, like, I couldn't rent space in your garage to store a Corvette for $1,100, like in the open market, right? He's like, you could have mine, go park it. He's like, park it, yeah. But
you park it right next to
mine. But the car payment is $600-700.
Yeah.
Why can't a hypothetical? And this is, just to your point, Jordan. What about a $3,000 beater? Like, why is that such a? I think there's a social stigma maybe attached to doing things like that. There's also what's another thing? Meals and entertainment. That's how it gets expensive. I keep saying, but going out to eat, right? I'm not going to harp on coffee because if it's still a couple $100 a month if you're having one every day and they're $6-7. But
those add up.
But those do add up. I agreed to Jordan's point that I would like to see it. I don't necessarily agree that the goal should be for each new generation to have an easier life than the prior one. I think as parents we would like to see that.
And that's what I said. As a parent, that's my goal.
I think it's kind of counterproductive. Because we've seen what a soft society creates. We are in the lowest, like the lowest income individuals in America have
way
lived more luxurious lifestyle than King Solomon.
Yeah,
outside of the golden
right. And I told him that because we were having a discussion. He was like, "Oh," and I don't want to beat him up, but he was like, "Oh, woe was me. I don't have anything." I'm like, "Dude, you are still in the top 5% in the world.
Probably 2.
You've got a car.
Yeah,
a car right there.
Yeah."
Do you know how many people in the world have cars?
Yeah.
You have a boat.
You can't count that. It's a shell.
Well,
there's no motor.
You have a canoe.
Right.
I'm gonna have to pay somebody probably to take that thing away.
You have a bank account.
Yep.
I'm going to get into his specifics.
Yep.
I'm like, you are probably within the top 5% of the richest people in the world.
Yeah.
And it's just Americans have become so spoiled
The standard is
And
high.
the standard is so high, we just don't see it. And this is why it irritates me. And we've talked about this before. Anybody that complains about America has not been outside of America.
It's eye-opening.
Well, and that's why if we go back to what I said, I said, one, the goal is to make it somewhat easier partially, but I started because you said something to the effect of, oh, well, I had to go through these struggles. That means you've got to go through these struggles.
No, and I wouldn't say
and
that.
That's where I say, because that's what a lot of older generation people say, well, I went through that struggle, so you're going to have to struggle too. And I'm like,
and I would wish that my kids don't.
Ever.
But my point is, if you do, don't complain.
Well, sure,
that's my biggest. That's my thing.
But what I was saying was in the beginning was wishing a struggle on somebody because you went through it is just
that's not cool.
Dumb.
I don't know. I'd have to sit with it. I'm gonna sit on this, and you guys will get a text message from me later. Because I think the largest problem of the equation is the amount of work required for a household to be sustainable on one income. Is you more often than not you're gonna have it's usually not 40 hours a week that one individual is working. It's usually more, right? And it's usually. So now there's the cost. What is that impact of that one individual? I'll use myself as an example. I don't work 40 hours a week, right? I see my kids in the morning. If they come to jiu-jitsu, I'll see them at class, which is cool, right? And I can work my schedule around their events, but I'm not like home. Dad's not home at 5 for family dinner and clocked out the rest of it. That's an unrealistic expectation, right?
Anybody that owns a business, it's unrealistic.
So it's an unrealistic expectation, right? Now there are I know teachers, right? They teach at inner city. I don't know what they make now. $45,000 a year, I think is what it is.
That's
it. They are
they volunteer.
Grossly underpaid, in my opinion, right? They're grossly underpaid.
Don't say that too loud.
I would say that to freaking what's his name, Doran, whoever runs the joint, right? Like I'm like, take some of the inner city money, dog. Like you've got the cat. I don't know what they do with it.
Yeah.
But the alternative, they're buying
LLCs.
They're buying. That's funny. Who's that agent over there? I'm not gonna dog him, but so I still never got a call back. They
Dan.
Yeah. They I think the impact that has on this family dynamic, I think, is more. It's less about the house, but to Jerry's point, I'll call it the first 5 years of owning a home is going to be the toughest, the roughest, because you spent all the money. Metaphorically, you spent a lot of your money. You feel broke when you right. Congrats! I've never felt poorer in my life. Well, because you just made probably the largest investment of your life, and then God forbid, hopefully you budgeted for it. Something goes out, a water heater or a door, or what fill in the blank. There's just things that homeownership costs, right? Maintaining grass has a cost to it. I mean, like shoveling snow. Go buy ice melt for a $30 bag or whatever. That stuff adds up, right? And then but in 5 years, what you have done is you've effectively frozen that expense in time. For the most part, depending on the type of house you bought, how much roof life was left, there's variables. And so now you've frozen that expense. Rent has statistically increased from that condo I'm selling. If you wanted to go rent one, it's $1,700.
Yeah, I saw
that's egregious, right? Like
that's cheap.
In my head, I'm like, well, my note is $1,700 a month for my house. I bought it 10 years ago. So now you've got whatever.
Mine's $600 cheaper.
Yeah, get out of here. Yeah, so you probably put way more down than I did. But so you freeze that, and then as the cost of living continues to go up, that's at least one part of your life where the cost of living didn't go up proportionately. Meals will continue to go up. I keep track. I remember this. So my coffee, a black coffee, large black coffee with 3 Splenda, used to cost $1.70 at Tim Hortons. Now it's probably $3.70.
I couldn't do it
for black coffee, right? I make coffee at home now, right? But I mean, I'm not gonna dog avocado toast. I'm not gonna dog people who do, but just understand, right? Understand the
choices.
You make trade-offs, right? You make trade-offs.
Choices have consequences. Good choices or bad choices. Your choices affect your standard of life.
I think it's a trade-off. Do you want to go out to eat twice every whatever, weekend, whatever, or do you want to take a big vacation at the end?
That's actually a very.
And here's the thing, and I agree with exactly what Jordan said. But then don't complain when somebody takes a vacation, but they didn't have their avocado toast.
Yeah.
Right? Because that was their choice.
Yeah.
They sacrificed the avocado toast to take the vacation.
Mm-hmm.
That was their choice.
Yeah.
And don't complain because Jordan wants his avocado toast, but he can't afford the vacation. If that's what Jordan wants to do, that's what Jordan wants to do. Just don't complain when the person on the other side says, well, you could have it as well, you just can't have the avocado toast.
Yeah. I think it's a, I don't know, man. I'm very much of the...
Make more money.
When we talk about like the macro of economics and historic, because I can only speak to... Here's what I remember. Okay, I lean on people who were alive. Like during you had the privilege, we'll call it, of seeing the crash in the 80s. Crash of the dip. Were you licensed?
Are you talking about no? Because that happened in 82-ish.
Okay,
so I was only 12.
But real estate interest rates were 15%.
They got up to like 18, 19.
18. Okay, so now they're at 6
below,
right?
Or below.
5 and
high
a half.
fives.
High five. So, there's that perspective. But then there's also, I think in 2008, it was the crash. I remember it because I was.
Oh, I lived it.
I happened to do very well. I was I made more money than I was prepared for. Squandered most of it, and thankfully, a good friend of mine, Jameson Agnello, he's a real estate agent. He saw the writing. He was like, "Hey, this isn't going to be around forever. Have you ever considered investing in real estate?" He's a good friend of mine. So I threw him some money to invest in some place. It was Roseville was one, the other one. He too got stung though, because they were buying it and he got stung. It took like 10 years for him to pay me back, but it was a blessing in disguise because 19-year-old me would have just squandered the money, right? So, but I remember waiting in line for steakhouse restaurants in 2008, 2009, 2010. I remember Dave & Buster's was packed. I remember, so in this crash, recession, people were still spending money. It wasn't their money. It was Amex's money or Discover's money or Visa's money or someone else's money. So I think the availability of credit is not a great thing, because try living off. Here's a challenge I would say. Try living off a debit card or just a checking account. Like when that number hits zero, that actually means zero. Well, what does that look like?
That's how smart, educated people live.
I was gonna say that's how I've always lived.
Is that what you do pretty much? Like,
well, no, I use a credit card, but I pay it off on every month. I don't have a payment.
Yeah,
you're responsible. You're disciplined. I was not. Especially, how old are you?
26.
I'm sorry,
27.
I was not.
But I've had a credit card since I was 16.
That's incredible.
But that's because I opened one up. I said, you guys are going to need to learn how to be financially responsible with your money.
I could not handle it. And in fact, I could a whole separate podcast of how I was irresponsible with money, in early.
And I think again, it goes back to the homeschooling. I think the school systems have failed.
Why don't they teach that? Why don't you? Yeah,
do you know how many kids come out? And I say kids, early 20s, trying to buy a house. I didn't know I had to pay bills on time. I didn't know it would affect me the way it's affecting me. They just have no clue. And it's ignorance, and I don't say that in a bad way. It's just really the school systems failed, or the parents failed.
My buyer, that condo guy, he's been renting for 14 years in his apartment.
This is the guy who's like, he can keep 100.
Yeah. He didn't know that you could sell the house prior to paying off the mortgage.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. Yeah.
That if you bought a house with a 30-year mortgage, you're married to that house for 30 years and it's paid off.
Yeah.
And I found that out because when we were looking through these condos, he's like, "Oh, well, I'll give them this for it," which means they'll still walk away with, over 6 figures. And I'm like, dude, they bought the house 2 years ago for $165. If you give them that, they're losing money. They've got a note on it still.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? They have a note on it still.
It's
paid off.
Still owe money
like,
on it.
no, it's not paid off. 90% of the houses we've looked at aren't been paid off.
Yeah. Okay, here you see this. Go to Realist. See this mortgage amount?
Yeah.
That's what they owed 2 years ago.
And it was a teaching process.
Yeah.
That you basically have to go through because people are just, they don't know.
We've gone well over, so I want to respect your guys' time. Just because it's relevant. Did you ever get in touch with the Grant on those?
I did not.
Stuff? Do you want me to?
Just because I didn't. I mean, he's he still got that. He's got to look it up, or that webinar on the 24th.
Yeah.
So I wasn't gonna call because I mean, if you don't know, then you don't know.
I'll see him Thursday. I'll learn more about it. But it's a down payment assistance that can be stacked on Mishta. So 10 for Mishta, 25 for.
Oh wow!
And it's forgivable after 5 years.
And it's forgivable after 5. He's seen the seminar. He's a credit union guy though,
Okay.
so I don't know if Joe. has access to it.
I text Joe about it yesterday. I got to see if he responded because I was wondering.
But that's it, and I don't know if it's like certain area. I don't know. Like if it, sometimes it's like certain.
A lot of time there's criteria.
Yeah, but that I mean, 30,
at least we're looking into
$35,000. 35 grand.
Looks like I'm buying a house.
35 grand. Yeah. If that would be.
It's the 1099
I like Grant. I like Joe a lot. I like Grant a lot. They both know their craft and they're responsive. Like that's my big thing. Working with other mortgage.
Yeah.
Dude, I need you to respond. I need you to pick up my phone.
Is it too much to ask for?
Yeah. I need you to respond to a text and email something. Well. For the next 4 weeks, I think we're going to have hindered views because this tells me a lot of our views came through Facebook because we've had 0 views this whole time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
feel
So
bad then.
but next time, what we can do next week is I will try logging into one of your Facebook accounts
Beforehand,
I
don't get banned because I don't post anything.
Yeah, smart. Well, there you go. But
Not smart.
Well,
He posts
organic. I try to. I made a. I don't know. It is organic free marketing, All right. Well, we do have down payment assistance coming up probably next month, maybe even end of this month. We'll let you know once we see that. We have, the warmer weather's coming. More houses will be on the market. And if you need a budget, right? If you want to see kind of how much you can afford, any one of us can help you out with that. We do it daily, and we do the numbers, and we're not going to sell you something that we think you can't afford. So that's it, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next week on the Keeping It Real Estate podcast.